So coming back to Sonic 2, we're in the 5th zone of the game, Hilltop Zone. It's kind of like a very tall canyon-esque type area. We don't really see a lot of those in Sonic games. Most like known canyon level in a Sonic game is probably Rail Canyon and Bullet Station from Sonic Heroes, for certain reasons, which, you know, I'll show when we get to Sonic Heroes. But yeah, a lot of gimmicks from Starlight Zone return with these teeter-totters that you have to bounce the thing from the one side onto the other side to get Sonic to launch higher. There are also these things that you have to ride down certain spots. Okay, so last time I got the last Chaos Emerald, and next time you get 50 rings and jump, you're automatically going to turn into Super Sonic. Sonic turns from a blue hedgehog to an unstoppable god, and Super Sonic can jump higher, run faster. He's completely invincible, but he can still die from things like running out of time, drowning, falling into a bottomless pit, getting crushed. So he's invincible to everything that isn't an environmental hazard. But yeah, once you turn into Super Sonic, you're pretty much gonna obliterate the level that you're in. But because Super Sonic is so fast, he's actually kind of slippery in some parts, so you might want to watch out for that. Hilltop Zone has these parts where you need to like jump into certain spots in the ground because you need to break them, and I missed that jump. Like right here, you can only progress if you roll, because otherwise you won't be able to break that spot in the ground. Orbinauts return, but instead of spikes, they're carrying fire around them. There's like a lot of grass and stuff, so I mean, I guess it's kind of like a Green Hill theme along with the canyon type, so I don't know. There are earthquake sections that you have to kind of sit through. The lava will rise, and you need to race to the top before the lava kills you or before it crushes you. And if you're Super Sonic, it's really easy. So yeah, there's a weird glitch in the original Sonic 2, and that right there. So there's a raft at the very top that you have to ride down, and if you can jump off at the very top and then land on that one enemy down there without touching anything else along the way, the entire game will hard lock or like hard reset. And it crashes so bad that you'll have to turn off the console and start from Emerald Hill Zone. So I recommend not doing that. There are these enemies that they have these like spiked cones on the top of them, so you can't just jump into them. You have to like either roll into them or wait for them to shoot the spike out. Unless you're invincible, then you can just run into them. I think the boss is coming up right here pretty soon. Okay, let's not jump down there. I don't want to fall through the level geometry again. Okay. Alright, now Super Sonic. Also, when you're Super Sonic, your ring count is constantly depleting by 1 ring every second. So you want to keep a hefty amount of rings when you're Super Sonic. Hilltop Zone's boss, Dr. Robotnik, is piloting this machine. He'll shoot a fireball across the side, and then when he's about to dip back down in the lava, he'll shoot 2 that completely engulf the 2 platforms that he's like being surrounded by with lava. But yeah, hit the capsule and Hilltop Zone's done. It's a pretty alright zone. You know, nothing horrible. This next zone is Mystic Cave Zone. This zone is kinda notorious for something that shows up in Act 2 of this zone. But it's a deep cavern type area. There's a lot of like purple and green for the color schemes. Some of the badniks in this zone are just really annoying. There are those little firefly enemies that you can't jump into when the butt is glowing, and they like to start glowing at like the worst time imaginable. There are also these blue enemies that like just come out of the ground and the walls and the ceilings, and they just like thrust their head forward, and they can be kind of hard to dodge sometimes depending on where they are. But yeah, There are a lot of springs. This part right here, you need to hit this lever, but that bridge will collapse after you jump on it, so if you can pull the lever without jumping on the bridge, I recommend doing that. But if you mess it up after you already jumped on the bridge, then you have to like backtrack a little bit to get it to reset in the stage. But yeah, that was Act 1 for Mystic Cave. Oh, I got an extra life and to continue. Act 2 is pretty notorious because in the very, very bottom route, there's a pit that's so deep and it's just spikes at the bottom. But it's so deep that even Supersonic can't get out of it. And if you have like a really big amount of rings and you're just Supersonic so you won't get hit by the spikes, you're going to be standing there for a long time. And it's very easy to fall into, so it makes it even worse. That's why I kind of like to stay on the top path. If you're playing the mobile remake of Sonic 2, instead of getting stuck in the pit, you'll actually find Hidden Palace Zone, which was, oh what the heck. Hidden Palace was a level that was originally cut from Sonic 2, but Christian Whitehead reworked it into the mobile version. So that's kind of neat. And it's got its own boss and everything, so if you want to try that out, fall into the pit. There are these spikes that like to come out of the walls sometimes too. Also those green things that like come up and down on certain walls, if you jump with like really bad timing and you land on top of it, you can actually get crushed. So I recommend being careful. I think that the boss is around here. Okay, let's get that shield in case I don't have Supersonic. Okay, yeah, it's down here. I don't need that checkpoint. So the boss for Mystic Cave, Dr. Robotnik is piloting a machine, but before he comes down, like parts of the ceiling will collapse and you need to watch out so you don't hit those sharp parts. But he has 2 drills on his side and you need to hit the top of him when the drills aren't horizontal. So just watch out for these. A similar boss will come back in Marble Garden Zone Act 1 for Sonic 3 and Knuckles. But yeah, 8 hits and Robotnik's down. So yeah, that's it for this part. We can come back next time and take on the next few zones, so I'll see you then.